co-star, but it's a private show. So dim the lights, believe the camera's on. All you gotta do is point and shoot. Lights, camera, action, time to get it on. Let's just start the show. 'Cause we're gonna make a movie, baby, right here in this bedroom. Scene one, that's when I walked through the door. Scene two, I was the nurse, you were my patient. Scene three, next thing we took off our clothes and we've been bumping and crying like we just wanna know more. 'Cause I've been working hard all day. When I get home I wanna have it my way. I'm down for a little acting and make the bedroom my stay. And role play, like cops and robbers, I'm the love doctor. Role play, tonight we're gonna role play, yeah. Boy, if you like, we can leave our clothes half on and do it to our favorite song. Or switch it up, get wild and turn it all off. 'Cause you know I like it rough. We can do it right by the dishes, on the counter in the kitchen, on the stairs in the living room, on the dining room table. Our sex tastes so good that I have you cleaning the dishes. Whoa. That's when I walked through the door. Scene two, I was the nurse, you were my patient. Scene three, next thing we took off our clothes and we've been bumping and crying like we just wanna know more. 'Cause I've been working hard all day. When I get home I wanna have it my way. I'm down for a little acting and make the bedroom my stay. And role play, like cops and robbers, I'm the love doctor. Role play, tonight we're gonna role play, yeah. You are my co-star, but it's a private show. So damn the lights, believe the camera's on. All you gotta do is point and shoot. Lights, camera, action, time to get it on. Let's just start the show. 'Cause we're gonna make a movie, baby, right here in this bedroom. Scene one, that's when I walked through the door. Scene two, I was the nurse, you were my patient. Scene three, next thing we took off our clothes and we've been bumping and crying like we just won an award. 'Cause I've been working hard all day. When I get home I wanna have it my way. I'm down for a little acting and make the bedroom my stay. And role play, like cops and robbers. I'm the love doctor. Role play. Tonight we're gonna role play, yeah. Boy, if you like, we can leave our clothes half on and do it to our favorite song. Or switch it up, get wild and turn it all off. 'Cause you know I like it rough. We can do it right by the dishes, on the counter in the kitchen, on the stairs in the living room, on the dining room table. Our sex tastes so good that I have you cleaning the dishes. Whoa. That's when I walked through the door. Scene two, I was the nurse, you were my patient. Scene three, next thing we took off our clothes and we've been bumping and crying like we just won an award. 'Cause I've been working hard all day. When I get home I wanna have it my way. I'm down for a little acting and make the bedroom my stay. And role play, like cops and robbers. I'm the love doctor. Role play. Tonight we're gonna role play, yeah.
Without further ado, can you hear me clear? Your headphones are right there. So everybody doesn't have a set because it's only a headphone per microphone, but the volume of the show is raised up. Anyway, much pandemonium, chaos, creative chaos. Welcome to Straight No Chaser, the talk show, right? Because some people tend to reword it to fit how they feel it should be worded. But we have tonight a group of people that I was proud to be introduced to on a business level. Damn, they calling already? On a business level. True Entertainment is the parent company, right? The parent entity. And this was born from the brain trial. Ooh, sorry. Think about when you was on trial. The brainchild of a man that I met some years ago. He forgot that we met, but I met some years ago. And he was on vacation for a while, and he's back. And he's back with a powerful message and a powerful impact on his community. And with the help of a bunch of lovely young ladies, and I emphasize the word young, he's making a great impact on things at large. But what I would like to do is, because I know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of y'all, right? Six. I mean, I just met her. This is my sidekick right now. I just met her, right? But because the audience doesn't very well know you and what you represent and what you do outside of True Entertainment that contributes you to being an integral member. So I would like to start with my young lady to my far right, the brown skinned woman. We gonna get to that. The brown skinned woman. You. Okay. Can you speak into the mic? Who are you? Who you be?
Hi, I'm Nordreen.
And Nordreen. Who's Nordreen in relation to True Entertainment?
I am a partner of True Entertainment.
And what qualifies Nordreen to be a partner in True Entertainment?
My skills, creativity, ability to think and put things together. I have a vision. I have a mission. And I think that's what qualifies me.
Am I making you nervous?
No.
You sure?
Positive.
All right, she's cool then. She's cool. The young lady to my immediate right. What's your name?
My name is Christina.
Can you pull it closer to you? Good.
I'm Christina.
Okay, Christina, who are you and what brings you towards the True Entertainment movement?
I am a school psychologist and a mental health counselor.
Whoa.
And I am Nordreen is one of my best friends, and she brought me in on this project of an outreach out of True Entertainment. And we focus on early childhood trauma and how that influences us, mind, body, and soul, and determines how we behave and the choices that we make, and gives us a greater understanding of working with people of all types.
Wow. So could you be considered our resident expert? Kind of, sort of?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
To my immediate left, I know you.
Yes.
I met you before.
My bestie.
But can you explain to the audience who you are and what brings you to True Entertainment?
I am Tamar Ogburn. I am a partner in True Entertainment. I am the event manager of True Entertainment. I am the face in the community of True Entertainment. I have a lot of roots in the community by which we service the community. Born and raised in Southeast Jamaica, Queens. I am a corporate event planner. I am a minister. I am a mom. I am certainly a community and family advocate the role that I serve in True Entertainment as it relates to True Outreach is really getting the word out, but changing the dialogue from one-offs to really some sustainability where people can be helped long term. One of the things that I'm noticing that happens in the community is we bring a lot of different seminars and talks and so on and so forth, and then we leave them, right? So the goal of True Entertainment is not just to teach them how to fish, but also teach them how to cook so they can eat. And I am honored and humbled to be a part of this organization, certainly by the head brainchild who is going to speak next.
Wow.
Thank you.
You forgot that you are also my best friend.
Oh, here we go with the
I'm-
mushy
she-
stuff.
she-
With the mushy
Forgot that
stuff.
part.
She's
She didn't
not-
forget. She
And the
knows.
boss
I
of
would
you.
like to say
And the boss of- and
publicly,
the boss of you.
the mic is on.
The boss
Yes, the
of
mic
you.
is on.
She is not the boss of me.
I absolutely am. She's fronting right
Okay,
now.
but here's what I love, right? Because the next person that's getting ready to speak and introduce himself and let you know exactly what the whole mission is. He wanted to do a prayer, and I'm an iconoclast, right? No, we're not going to do that. But if you haven't established a mantra for the entity, right? Establish one now and tell everybody what True Entertainment represents in a mantra form.
In a mantra form.
That's why I put you on blast. You know how I do. Yeah, our mission statement is.
Okay. True Entertainment mission
But just speak a little
statement-
closer to the mic.
True Entertainment mission statement is to develop mental health in the black community, not just in the black community, but in all communities, because everybody, every nation, every town, every city has some type of form of mental health. And we need to bring this to South Jamaica, Queens. We need to bring this there so that they can get mental health, because it's a lot of people that have a negative stigma when it comes to mental health. They actually don't want to admit that they got a problem. But when you look at them, you could tell, and you talk to them and you see their actions, you could tell they have a mental problem. You could tell something has been wrong, and it started from childhood, because that's where the root is. The mother. So the mother had to actually, groom the child, bring the child up right. But a lot of times, the parents are not home in the house. In the house home, they're gone because they have to work to pay the bills. So they're left for just the environment so that they could take hold and take root to what they see. So True Entertainment is definitely covering mental health from childhood all the way up. And one thing I found out, that if you sit and get to the root of the problem and you go into it and you speak to these women, guess what? You'll be helped. You'll say, wow, I never thought about it like that. And you get not just an understanding, but you get an overstanding. This is what True Entertainment is about. But Christina, she'll give you the breakdown on every little key point.
I got some choice words for her. Trust me. This is the
thing-
reason why I did not. I'm
I
sorry to
know.
cut you off. The reason why I did not answer their calls is because they wanted a structured environment so they can know exactly what's this and what's that. She has a notebook. Nothing you have written down in that notebook is gonna be applicable tonight. So anyway,
It makes me feel better just to
nah,
have a notebook.
but listen, okay. Hey, but here's what I want to ask you. In the realm of mental health, is there any correlation between sexism, right, misogyny, when it comes down to how women deal with things as opposed to how men deal with things? Because we have double standards, right, that may be applicable in certain areas, but for some reason, women are taught to absorb the BS from men in relationships. And it somehow seems like because they're taught and it's ingrained to absorb the BS, you know, to death do us part, so and so and so. They just sit there and they hold it down. Meanwhile, they are deteriorating spiritually, right? And the outward manifestation that people see on the outside is like, yo, what's wrong with her? She's crazy. She's bugging out. What's the deal? Not really understanding that things that she must go through in her head to accept the things that she has been taught to accept that are not right. And see, some things are misdiagnosed. We will be quick to call a person, oh, you crazy. Oh, you crazy. That's an umbrella term to describe things we do not understand. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about mental health, is there a correlation in your opinion that mental health is related, like close cousins to spiritual health?
Okay.
Yes.
So when you were saying that women are being deteriorated biologically, I'm sorry, you were saying they were being deteriorated spiritually.
Yes.
What they're also suffering is biologically, because I think the way I have to answer that first when we talk about misogyny and sexism is that is an ongoing adverse experience that people go through. And that, I think that is what you mean by wearing on you spiritually, biologically. That's trauma, to experience that all the time. And, you know, it's very easy for other people to say, well, everyone has trauma, everyone goes through stuff, but that is something that's so long ingrained, sexism, misogyny, bias, racism, all that. It's so ingrained. It's even ingrained in the people who receive it. It's like you said, we're trained. The women are trained to take the BS, to hold it together, and things like that. It changes you inside in your body, and that changes how you think, and that changes how you behave. It changes your brain function and how you deal with stress. That overload of stress all the time. It puts you in that constant state of panic all the time. So I do believe that just like people of color have different experiences of people who are Caucasian, men have different things they go through than women. And each person needs to be looked at, and each type of person needs to be looked at separately, to notice the differences and what's specific to them, so that we can make everybody on a more equal plane and to help everybody. But we have to have an understanding. There needs to be a dialogue. There needs to be an understanding. You have to understand yourself first before you understand anybody else.
I want to be heard too. That's a very good and non-clinical explanation, because see, sometimes as a professional, you will be more inclined to speak to people in the professional way. Right. Where if we don't understand the jargon, it's
then
like
it's not good.
We don't get it. And I spoke to you earlier about, like, you know, because look, shit, we here drinking, we cussing, because this is what people do in a social setting. The only thing missing is a deck of cards and us playing spades or something like that, right? Because I think that people readily identify with people that are just like them.
Yes.
In your professional opinion, what stops people from seeking therapy?
There definitely is a stigma. You know, when you have to sit with, the way I was trained by Dr. Mel Goldstein. He is a doctorate in social work in his 70s. And he never thought of himself as a therapist, because when you imply the word therapy, it implies that something is wrong with one of you in the room. He prefers the term counselor, because the counselor is a conversation, and you're on equal plane. People don't seek it because it's painful to examine yourself. It's painful to look at yourself. It's fearful. It's fear. As a counselor, a therapist myself, you know, it's hard work, and it doesn't make it any easier for me, you know, when I go, because it's your own issues. So people don't go because they are afraid. they are afraid of change. You know, people, like, for example, a good example I always use to explain it is, and I'll use the term with a battered woman. Now, men can be battered as well, but typically it's more women. So lots of people say, oh, she stays, she puts up with that, you know, she likes that. She likes to be mistreated like that. You know, that's what she wants. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants their ass beat. Nobody wants that. All right. But it's what you're used to. And I think there's that expression, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't know, or something like that. So, you know, she knows she gets beat up, but she also knows her kids have a place to sleep. She knows where there's food. You know, she leaves, it could be worse. So the unknown is worse. So people don't want to rock the boat. People don't want to be judged. And we're our own biggest judges. We judge ourselves more harshly than anybody else. So people don't go to therapy, and people don't go to counseling, and people don't get help because there's a stigma that you're crazy, and people are scared.
Let me ask you a question on that word judge, because I think that people often confuse criticism with judgment. With criticism, you're actually breaking down detail for detail what may be wrong with something. As in terms of judgment, you're basing it's an assessment it's an assessment of what you see or what you feel. It's just an assessment. You're not offering an opinion based upon or any negativity. You're just saying, well, you know what, as far as I can see, you're this way, you're that way, and so on and so forth. So people tend to think like, well, who am I to judge? And I've always said, well, who are you not to judge? Right. Because when you judge, you assess. And in the same breath, people will say, well, I don't judge, and then say I'm a good judge of character. Right. Which is an oxymoronic stance to have.
I think the judging is all in the presentation, and you also have to know your audience.
Wow.
That's right.
Good point. Good point. I want to shift over to Ms. Tamar. Are you watching? Good. She wondering, what the fuck is he going to ask me? No. In your professional endeavors, how is it that you can separate your personal issues, assuming you have personal issues, from the things that you may encounter in the professional realm? Oftentimes we tend to impose our belief system, our moral system on others because it works for us, but maybe they have a different system, and what works for them just has a little kink in it, and they need you to just twerk it a little bit. I mean, tweak it. Pun intended. Come on, you know I'm gonna cut up. So, how do you separate your personal, right, from your professional?
I believe in practicing the art of active listening.
Explain that, please.
When I have dialogue, should I look that way? I don't know.
Well, you can look either way. All cameras are on you.
Oh. How do I look, America?
You good?
It's really important to practice the art of active listening. So the first thing that you need to do is remove yourself from the dialogue. And sometimes in the dialogue, you can relate to what someone's saying, right? But you have to listen to what they're saying, and then you have to ask probing questions. You need to ask probing questions to help that individual get to where they need to be.
Wow.
You have to take yourself totally out of it. And sometimes when people make statements, go back to them and say, well, what does that mean? Because what it means to me, right, certainly is not what it would mean to you. And because it's about you and it has nothing to do with me, I do not, or I should not, interject my thoughts into that.
Is it hard to do or hard not to do? Because you're human.
So for, well,
like, would it be hard for you to not react to a woman that says, well, I mean, he punches me in the face, but you don't know the other side of him. He loves me.
So what does love mean to you?
Do you want to say, girl, if you don't get the fuck out, listen. But like, do you want to say that?
I'm a child of a mom who was a victim of domestic violence.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And a lot of people don't know that.
They
in
do
my
now.
story.
They do now.
They do now. And I have no problem with being transparent
Wow.
about my story. So I would say to my mom, Ma, it's 5 of us. We could jump him, right?
That's right.
We could do this. Look, I would go and make weapons and say, look what I made. When he come in, this is the plan. Everybody going to be right here. And this is what we going to do. And we going to get out of here, Mommy. You going to be safe. Right? And my mother would look at me like, what? I just wanted to protect her. Right? I'm talking about, like, I'm like 10 years old.
Wow.
Right? And I'm the oldest of my siblings. And, of course, I'm emotionally attached to it. Right? And certainly I'm a champion for women who are victims of domestic violence, right? Because that residue from that is still on me. You know, I can't deal with that. But I understand, though, in the scheme of things, I had this great, wonderful plan of escape for her. But what did escape mean for my mom? Because it certainly didn't mean what I thought it should mean. Like you said, we could just get the heck out of here. It wasn't like that, right?
So and we make the mistake of thinking that someone who is staying in a situation that is not the best situation, we make the mistake a lot of times of thinking that they have no idea that it's a bad situation. They know the situation. They know they may know better than anybody else.
Why is it hard to escape? Why is it hard to leave? If they know, if they're very aware that the situation is bad, and there are no, how would you say it, beneficial aspects to it. It's a spiritual beatdown, physical beatdown, mental beatdown. It's an assault on the next generation, because the kids are watching, and that has an adverse effect on the way that they view relationships. So us being so knowledgeable, because I'm smart, I'm intelligent, I have this degree, that degree, I know that I'm in the streets, I'm book smart, all of this stuff that we know, and we still stay in unhealthy relationships. Why is that?
You may have nowhere to go.
Economics,
like Joseph said.
Comfortability.
It's all that you know. Being in a high toxic stress traumatic situation like that puts your body neurologically in a fight, flight, or worse freeze mode, and you cannot go. You physically cannot go. The fear overtakes you. It's not because you want your kids to witness that. It's not because you like that situation. It's because you're trying to do the best you can with what you have in the moment. It's a complicated thing. It's simple to the people outside looking in, but it's not simple to the person who's going through it.
Absolutely, never.
I want to throw this out.
Great point.
To Nordreen. How impactful is fear, right, in determining what we do or don't do in a realistic realm of life? And let me explain further. Sometimes we have a fear of failure, and that prevents us from moving forward. It's like I'm comfortable where I am. I could take a test to get a different certification. I can go to school. I can do this to further my education. But I'm so comfortable where I am now, I have a fear of failing, because me failing does not always equate to I didn't pass the test. Sometimes it equates to I'm not smart. I'm not smart enough. I'm not educated enough. I'm not as intelligent as I thought I was. And so people would rather just stay complacent where they are, rather than try to elevate themselves and not meet the mark, so to speak. So when it comes down to fear, I don't want to say important, but how much of a factor do you think it is in our complacency or stagnation? That's the better word, stagnation.
It plays a huge part. Fear is crippling. It will handicap you. Literally, mentally, physically. It will keep you bound in every aspect of your life if you can't overcome it. It's something that you really have to work on overcoming. What they say, you have to look the devil in the eye. It's not an easy thing. It's not easy at all. I understand it. But I have to overcome it because I have a goal and I have a destiny. I have a call, and I have to answer that call. So I'm not going to allow it to keep me down, but it does get to me as well.
What do you say to yourself that makes you persevere?
It's that I look at the blessings. I look at the glass half full. I know I have a lot of enemies, but the love that I have carries me through. I have a lot of support as well. Look at this table. Everybody here, everyone listening, support me. I have a team of professionals that will come out and do anything I ask them to do just because I'm me and the love that they give me and the love that I give them.
And I want to say that I hate to use the word believe, because to believe is to accept something in the absence of proof. I like to use the word trust and confidence, because your team is here and you were chosen as a team leader, team member, because of what you displayed, not of what someone thought or they looked at you like, well, she has potential. No, you already displayed it. Because the brother sitting to my far left, he's not one of them dudes that's going to pick you just because y'all were cool back in the days.
Absolutely.
it don't go like that.
You got to bring something to the table.
But the evidence is in my life. It's in my walk. It's where
Yes.
my start, where I am now. And I'm not even finished. This is just the beginning.
Well, I'm going to quote something that it wasn't a quote of mine, but I read it somewhere where Eartha Kitt said,
I met her once.
let my tombstone be my diploma.
Yes, there you go.
Right?
Mhm.
And I've quoted that, and I've always given her credit because it wasn't me. I didn't say that. She said, let my tombstone be my diploma, because that's the day that I stopped learning. We have a caller on the line? Okay. Tell me, are they on? Caller, you on the line live? Tell me who you are and where you're calling from.
My name is Norris Spatz. I'm calling from South Jamaica, Queens.
No, it's fast. Where my
The
T-shirts
team.
is from 8 years ago, man.
But he's a member of Outreach as well.
What's going on?
Nah, I know. Come on, Wayne Norris. We don't know Wayne Norris. What's up, homie? What's good with you, man? Speak your piece.
Ain't nothing, man. Just calling to support my team, man. To support our unit. And the work that we're about to do in South Jamaica, Queens, and across the 5 boroughs of New York City. I've been doing this outreach work for about 7 to 8 years now, and I felt the need to go as a parent with the people that raised me and helped me get through life the way I've been brought through life, and work with these phenomenal people, you know, and approaching this work that we do in a different way and manner that needs to be approached.
Wow, that's what's up. And we know about adversity.
Yeah, we definitely know about adversity.
We know about adversity.
So one of the things that makes me want to work with the group that I work with is because we're like at 18, 17, 18 years old, you know, we lost like some of our greatest best friends. They didn't even get to see when they was 20 years old.
Shout out to Spank. Shout out to Spank. Listen, I know everybody,
Shout out
so
to
you already know what
Andre
that
Simpson,
is.
Trey.
Exact. Shout out to Trey.
Right.
Exact. I know everybody. You feel me?
Right.
Jose,
so
Mark
when we looked at
Banks.
Exactly.
Right. So when we looked at that stuff,
Vaughn.
right, we looked at those losses we took. We just took
That's
them
right.
as like that was just something that happened. It was a norm. It was normal, but that wasn't normal. And you know, even to this day, like almost 30, 40 years, I still every day I cry about losing friends. And what we think is normal, it's not. It's not normal to lose a friend that you played baseball with at an early age, and then you have to be able to go through life carrying that burden on your back, that losing that friend, and it makes you make bad decisions according to what the norms are in the street. So I felt the need to start the work. I worked with a young lady from Queens, Erica Ford, for about 7, 8 years now. And I just see it's a need for my team to work with the people that gave me an opportunity to live a certain lifestyle at one time, to enhance, to help other people live a different lifestyle now. It's almost like in the 80s and 90s we had lived a certain way. Now, we contributed to the dysfunction of our neighborhoods. I'm just keeping it for real.
Mhm.
And now,
It's time to
because we
build.
contributed to the function of our neighborhoods, it's almost like we created Frankenstein's babies. So we have to get our feet on the ground. We have to be able to step up and say, you know what, I created these monsters. I created this misnorms. I created the lifestyle, the culture, the way people are living now, and it's time for me to step up and attack that. Not to sit back and say, see, and this is all wrong. And I mean, I salute Nordreen. That's my homie. Like, I knew Nordreen before we was in Christopher Robin Academy. I was about 12, 13 years old, and I knew she was a queen back then. But there's some brothers that's out there in our community that's not manning up. That's not stepping up.
So should we call them to task? Because I call people to task. Like, I don't have no problem with people not liking me.
They was there. I'm not going to do that, right? But
okay, but I have to challenge. No, I have to challenge you, bro. Real, and you my dude. I've known you 30 years. No. I have to challenge you. Why aren't you challenging? No. Why aren't you challenging them brothers, bro? Because as my dude, if you see something that's not right. If you see something that's not right, and you know it's not right, and these dudes have the power and influence to impact the community the same way you want to do, right?
Right. So listen,
why do they get a pass? Because they're not stepping up.
They don't get a pass. Right. I refuse to give anybody a pass. Nobody's never gave me a pass on anything.
So why not challenge them and provoke them?
I'm not giving anybody a pass. So let me speak. Let me say what I gotta say. All right. So they know who they are, and they know what they need to be doing, and they know that they was there when the getting was good. They was front and center when them things was getting passed out. But now, when we got to do the real work to rectify our lives, they're not there.
Question: Do they benefit from recognition? Because I've made plenty open post status about dudes that are just straight fronting. I've been on the front lines with dudes. I done marched to the UN. I done did all of that. I done made speeches. I done talked in classrooms. I've also been denied entry. I've also been told by dudes who's supposed to be them dudes, we want to do X, Y, Z, because they getting some bread. They getting money for it. And now because they getting money, and I know they getting money, because I was a volunteer before, because they was volunteers, now y'all getting paid. At least give me some type of monetary compensation. I mean, pay my train fare. Do something. Buy me lunch. I'm not in it for the money. I have a regular job. But my thing is, as men, as you and I, me and you, we know these dudes. But we will sit alongside these dudes and allow them to bask in the glory of, I'm the peacemaker. I'm this. No, you're not. You're just capitalizing off of the struggle of people who are really doing something.
Right. So the whole thing is, man, Todd, I'm gonna keep it 100. What you working?
I hope you've always been keeping it 100. By the way,
working on something in 111. I've literally taken guns out of these kids' hands. I've literally stepped in front of gang rivals that's getting ready to shoot and save city councilmen. I've literally did that work, that on the ground footwork, and then I'll just sit back and I'll just watch as the other people. But I'm not just talking about them people that's in those powers that's going into the meetings and they got their own organizations and they don't want to help other organizations grow. I'm talking about certified brothers that's in the street that still have enough power in the streets to tell certain groups, so y'all stop that. Y'all stop.
That's right.
And so that right there in itself would allow the work with the doctors that we are bringing on board to get, before you start any piece, you got to get a level ground to work on. And if it's a bunch of confusion, you can't work on that level, work without that level and that common work area. You have to be able to
I'm sorry to cut you off. First, let me make let me make it clear. When my aggression is coming from passion. In no way am I directing any type of disrespect towards you. I've known you 30 years.
Yes.
Maybe 31, 32. So in no way do I want the audience to deem it as, I'm screaming on him or I'm talking like this towards him. That's not the case. We are grown men, and I just have a lot of passion. The stance that True has taken and is walking tall in is not favorable to a lot of people that would wish he would go a different route. because I'm pretty much sure I'm pretty much sure he's gotten some advances from people to do other things, do it a different way.
Yes, I did.
And his integrity has said, nah, bro, if you're really about XYZ, then you'll do it the right way. We did it the wrong way for so many
Grandma
years.
told me a long time ago, Todd. Grandma told me a long time ago, the day before she died. My grandmother passed on the same day Black just got killed. She told me if it don't come out in the wash, it come out in the rinse.
That's right.
Okay, I want to
come out in the wash.
I want to direct this towards True, because like I said, I'm very passionate, and in the face of, listen, everybody can see this, so I'm not talking behind the keyboard. I'm not a keyboard gangster, or I'm down with the all cap crew. That's not who I am. I'm very upfront and in your face. My thing is, when I spoke to True initially, and we had a long talk about what his mission was, what he wanted to do, and I said to myself, bro, you not going along with the plan of the already established peacemakers. See, because let me break it down to you. The so-called peacemaker of today in the hood is like an exterminator. If you do too good of a job, they don't need you no more. Right? You eradicated all the rodents and the menaces, so they don't need you no more, and you don't get that funding. So a good exterminator that's about his job will leave just a little nest some way over there so it can grow and manifest, and then one day in the future you have to call them again. They keep themselves relevant. People are actually getting paid off of the very thing they are trying to, or allegedly trying to denigrate. You feel me? So it's not profitable to get rid of crime. See, that's the bullshit. That's the bullshit that dudes is not. They not saying it.
He ain't never been he's been a trendsetter all his life.
Okay, but now we talk about his stance in terms of not giving a fuck about the bullshit and everything that comes his way, and he has opposition. Listen, and I want to hear from him with you on the line, right? True. When people come to you with the listen, this is how we do it. Talk. What's your response?
Some people do. I sit back and I watch people. I observe. I look. I listen. I observe. And I assess a situation. And some people, they tell me, True, you should do it this way. And I say, why should I do it that way? Because you doing it this way, what you doing might work for you, but it might not work for me. And what I'm doing will work for me. It might not work for you. So I sit down and I say to myself, man, I have people coming at me not only negatively, but positively. You know, and it balances out. And people come to me and they have propositions for me, and I say to them, brother, I'm not into that anymore. That's not my style anymore. That chapter has been closed. That's over. That's done with. We have, as a whole, we have destroyed communities. I know we have destroyed communities. I know we have made crack babies. I know we're even the ones that contribute to the mental health issues. So I sit down and I say to myself, you know what? How do we try to assess this and go and straighten this out and fix the things that we did? We got to fix it. Who else is going to fix it? There's nobody else going to fix it but us. And I'm going to say this. I know if there's something that I don't know, because I don't know everything, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to surround myself that the people that do. I'm smart enough to know that. You know, a lot of people, you just don't know. I have so many people that, and I'm going to put this out there. I'm going to say it. I've been envied, and a lot of people been jealous of me all my life. And it seems like the more better that I do, the more hate I get, when it shouldn't be hate. It should be love.
Why do you think that is, though?
Because some people, I've been gone on a vacation for about 18 years. 18 years. And I see people, when I left the 18 years, they still doing the same thing when I was here 18 years ago. I didn't see no growth. I haven't seen any development. And how you going to keep bumping your head on the wall and expect the same results?
That's the mental health part right there.
It's just crazy. And I'm going to tell you, I just wish people could wake up and smell the coffee, because we are systematically, whites, blacks, Spanish. It's not even about, some of this is not even about race anymore. It's about economics. It's about this money. And
That's right.
they trying to keep the rich rich. That's why we got the Donald Trumps. All the tax laws and everything is for the rich. The middleman, the lower class, guess what? We are paying everything while they getting all the money.
Hey, peace, God. I gotta go. I'm at the job, man. I just had to call in, man.
Okay.
I want to
We
meet
appreciate you.
Don't get docked. Don't get
Hold
docked.
on,
no
I
hours.
want to say something
All right.
before Norris goes. He has become the change that he wants to see come.
That's right.
And we have to salute him because
Yes.
Salute.
you know he definitely
Soldier.
stands up. He does the right thing. He moves in the positive direction every day of his life. There's not a time I don't call him and he does not rise to the occasion to help me push my mission forward. Thank you,
Listen,
Norris.
thank
That's
you.
my
Thank
dude,
you.
Wayne
Thank
Norris.
you.
man.
I want my T-shirts. I want my T-shirts from 8 years ago. We'll talk about. We'll talk about that off air.
Peace.
I wanna put this out there. There's a thing called the placebo effect, whereas something you think works, right, doesn't actually work in terms of solving the issue, but it makes you feel different about the issue. Like I used to think, about, wow, a lucky rabbit's foot, until I saw a 3-footed rabbit. So how lucky was how lucky was the rabbit, right? So when I think, I put things in perspective. I had a long, about 2-hour talk with my daughter today. We were talking about just everything in life in general, disappointments, my disappointments, how I represented her, how she represents me. I love her, she loves me. The whole father-daughter thing, about 2 hours. And she hit me with some things that enlightened me and made me, wow, she's a thinker. And she says, Daddy, everybody always say, you just like your father. She said, Daddy, I question everything. And I've always taught her to question
That's right.
everything. If something doesn't make sense to you, don't accept it because you have well, what else can it be? It has to be that, in absence of an answer. There's something called personal incredulity. And that's where a person will reject something that you might offer as a solution or an answer, but because they don't understand it, or they don't understand how you came to that conclusion, they reject it because they view themselves as your equal. So if Norda is the same as me intellectually, how the hell she know something and I don't know it? So hell no, it can't be true, because how does she know it and I don't know it? And what we do, instead of learning and pushing forward to rely on science and psychology to develop answers and theories. And by the way, a scientific theory is much different than the conventional theory. Someone tried to challenge me on that, because a theory is like a hypothesis, an educated guess. A scientific theory is a series of tests that have been done where the same conclusion happens each time. So to clarify for y'all that don't really understand, that's what it is. To the clinical psychologist, when you're confronted with unconventional issues, things that may not be in the DSM-5, right? And it's imperative that you go on with your daily life and you just maintain your sanity in this crazy-ass world that we live in. How do you go about it? Because everything is not, there's some things that haven't been diagnosed. And if they haven't been diagnosed, then there's no assigned treatment. There's no recognition of it, but it exists. Because I've seen some people, I'll be like, yo, what the fuck was he thinking about? Or what drug was he on? Or where did they get that? How do they make sense of that? But it happens. Do you fight sometimes with yourself or with people to be like, what the fuck? Or just sometimes you just, it just drives you nuts?
Well, like in any field, in any job, things get frustrating. Usually I find for me, if I feel frustrated with a client or I'm not sure what to do.
How about with a coworker? Forget the clients. They are diagnosed as actually having a problem. What about the coworkers?
I can apply this. Good question. I can apply this reasoning, I'm going to say, to the coworker too. Usually, it's touching a nerve in me, and something's resonating with me, but not in a good way. So I have to step back and feel like, why is this person on my last nerve? Why is this getting to me so much? Because when something gets to you on that kind of a level, you are not effective in dealing with anything. So you have to look at what it means to you. So like what Tamar said, when you have to do active listening, you relate to the person based on them, and that's absolutely perfect the way you explain that. But when you feel yourself tightening up, you have to look at, okay, what is this about me? What is this reminding me of? What is this making me think of? What is going off in me that's making me not deal with the person in front of me for them, but it's hitting me on another level? And you have to look at that, and you have to step back. You have to take a breath. We tell the little kids in school, take a drink, do 10 jumping jacks, take a walk, write it down, do something.
What do you tell yourself or your contemporaries?
What do I tell them?
Yourself or your contemporaries.
Yes,
we
do the same thing. We do.
You go take a drink. You do.
We go get a cold glass of water every time. Go get a cold glass of water. Go take a drink. Go take a break. Go outside. Get some fresh air. Who told me? My sister told me the other day. Go out. Go. And I have another friend, Kathia. Go outside. Get a breath of fresh air. I was upset about something. Get a change of perspective. Take a shower. Love the shower. Take a shower. First, I'm going to take a shower. Yeah, right. Put on your makeup. Go.
Are those therapeutic things for you?
Absolutely. They're therapeutic things for everybody, because everybody, even when you think they act crazy, there's a reason. There's a real reason. There's wounding. There's things that connect to other things, and people get overwhelmed in the moment. I mean, aside from a psychotic, delusional, poor reality testing, perhaps schizophrenic, like real hardcore diagnosis, most people are not crazy. Most kids don't have ADHD. Most people are not bipolar. This is not what we have. We have stress and adversity, and we have behavior, that comes from it.
How do you recognize a wound?
Depends on the person.
That's right. The hell with that book. The hell with that book. I don't
No,
care what you got scribbled down there.
I got nothing in the book.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
How
do you reckon? And I'm gonna ask
how do you
this
recognize a wound? Okay.
Because some people don't think they're wounded.
Mental wound.
Yeah, they're
Right.
mental wound. They don't think
A
they're
mental
wounded.
By their behavior, by their affect, by what they can't get past, by what they're mourning, by what they're stuck on, by what is not working for them. I ask my clients, is it whatever you're doing, and there's no judgment, is it working for you? Is it useful for you? Is it helping you? Like, I get you react this way, but is that useful for you? How do you feel after you react that way? How does that work for you? Every single person has wounding. Every single person. And it's not necessarily a mortal wound. It's just everyone comes from trauma, and we don't mean trauma like PTSD or an earthquake or necessarily even sexual abuse, and that's all trauma. It could be different things that you were raised and interpreted based on your temperament and your personality. My sister, who's behind you, we'll die for each other, and we'll kill for each other, but we came from the same house, and something will happen with our parents, and I'm like, did you ever feel this way and that way growing up? She's like, no, never felt that way. So or she'll say to me, I'm like, wow, never even thought of that. So it's an individual thing too, and how you process, and knowing that you're accepted for, and people love you and they accept you for who you are. That's
a perfect segue, and I'm going to tell you in order when I'm going to go to. I'm going to go to that young lady right next to you first, right? Then I'm going to go to my dude True. Then I'm going to go to Tamar, and I need to. I'm gonna get her. Sure, I know. I got to get her. But
not here just to sit around.
Her perfect seg. No, she made the perfect seg. I'm reserved. That's why she got her own bottle. The perfect segue, right? What does "I was raised this way" mean to you? Because I hear a lot of people say "I was raised that way," and they use that to quantify their continual behavior or thought pattern.
What does that mean? That's a great question. However, I was everything and displayed everything I was not raised to be. So it's a little different for me.
Okay.
My mother was a queen. She was sophisticated, educated. She didn't mix and mingle with certain things or certain classes if you weren't on her level. I was the direct opposite of that.
You
so
rebelled from
I
that?
don't know if that's a good question for me.
Well,
Because I wasn't raised that way.
You
The
wasn't raised
friends
there.
that I had, the things that I did, came up against my mother's teachings and her beliefs. And that's going generations back.
Well, that's an excellent answer because you basically, because I said, what did it mean to you? I didn't ask if it was right or wrong. And you said what it meant to you was, from what I get, a sense of rebellion. For some reason,
Absolutely. I was
you
rebellious.
You didn't, you
Perfect
didn't
word. Operative
agree,
word.
or you had a difference of opinion,
Yes.
a difference of spirit, and you
Yes.
felt, well, okay, mommy, that's how you are.
Right.
But I'm going to be me, and I'm going to be different. Not
Right.
saying there's nothing wrong with you, but this is me. So now I'm going to direct this question to my big brother right here. When someone says, I was raised that way, what does it mean to you?
A lot of times, you are a product of your environment. You see things, you see how they're ran, you see how things are taking place in your neighborhood. You're looking up at the older cats in your neighborhood. And for me, I used to look at certain people, man, like Fat Cat, Corley, Tommy Montana, I used to look at these people and idolize them because they were the ones that were actually making the money. Yeah. They driving the big cars. They're driving they have the big houses and homes. So I used to look at them and say, I want to be like them. I want to do that. That's what I want to do. But you know what? That norm that we thought was normal, that shit wasn't normal. That's abnormal. And it's crazy because we made that normal. Wanting to do things instead of going, getting an education, getting a degree, being an entrepreneur, starting your own business. These are the things, getting a job, learning a trade. These are the things that are normal.
Well, let me ask you a question, right? Because those things that I remember, I went to my junior high school homies is your homies. Right, some went to 72, some went to ISA.
I went to 72
and right, and I remember watching. I had a bus pass, and I remember like going to Thomas Edison High School, and one of my dudes was driving to school in a 190, and I'm on the Q111 with my bus pass, right, and seeing him didn't make me think how successful he was. It made me think about how unsuccessful I was.
That's right.
Because I compared myself to what I didn't have compared to him. And I was like, whoa, And I was raised with decency. I was raised to respect women specifically.
That's right.
I was raised to respect myself. And I was raised to not let my crooked ass stealing cousins in my house. Because my mother told me they would steal anything that wasn't nailed down. I was raised with reality. You feel me? So when I ask you about the way you were raised, I'm more talking about your morals, your integrity as a young man growing into a man. What in your family structure, what were you taught about the do's and don'ts, the life stories about how you applied yourself as a man? As soon as you walk out that door, how do you conduct yourself?
Well, I always I had my morals, I had my principles. There's certain things that I just would not do. If I see a lady and she's crossing the street, I was taught, go over, help the lady across the street. I was taught not to be disrespectful to your elders. Now, I don't know what happened to this generation, because I can't believe some of the things. I have to come and talk to certain brothers on the corner, when I come through today, and I think, brother, why are you going to do that in front of this person? You're supposed to protect your community. You're supposed to not let other people come into your community and do whatever they want to do in your community. No. And when we was growing up, we didn't have that. And what we did, if somebody did try to come in our community, you know what we would do? I would make sure we move them out. But I was raised with principles. Even to this day, people always look at me and say, you know what? One thing they could say about True, he was always respectful. He always gave to the neighborhood. He always, the ice cream truck come around, the whole block, all the kids get ice cream. My point is this, I was raised by good people, my grandparents, my mother, and they instilled that in me. They used to say, if you lie, you cheat, You cheat, you steal. That was a famous saying. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I don't know. I don't know if this is just naturally my spirit, but I've always been just an all around nice guy. Give you the shirt off my back. You eat. You gonna make some money.
I've always heard that you were fair.
Definitely fair.
And that's
I
the
think
most,
I was a little more than fair.
That's the most honorable compliment that a person could get because it shows an unbiased. You feel me? You're fair. Above all else, you are fair. Now, but before I get to the young lady in back of me, I'm going to grill.
You sure you don't want her to come over here and sit down?
No, I need her because we got our own camera.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, right? I want to address, I want to segue to tomorrow when the person says, you know, I was raised that way, right? And I'm gonna throw something in there because a lot of times people, when you go against the way that you were raised, sometimes people think you're going against your mom or your dad or whoever raised you. If your mother, father, or grandmother, whoever raised you a certain way, and someone introduces something that's different than what they, you know, implemented in you, it's almost like, well, I don't want to go against my grandma's or my mom's or my dad's teachings, even though it could be just a different tactic, just as effective, but just different. They don't want to go against it because they have a loyalty to the teachings of who raised them. So tomorrow, based upon what you explained to us about your early, you know, situations and experiencing abuse and stuff like that, when it comes to a moral standpoint, where did you get your morals from? Take as long as you want.
Bible. My grandmother, my grandfather. My mother is hard of hearing. My father is deaf. He cannot speak and he cannot hear, and he was not around. So I would say from my grandparents, certainly, and my mom. And I've always had a love for the Word of God. Always had a yearning in my spirit for church and just what is that all about, right? But the church is, the brick and mortar is the building, right? But really doing a deeper dive into the Bible. So, now your question was, when someone says, I was raised that way, what does that mean to me? When someone says that to me, it is their reality and sometimes their fear. It's their reality.
Jump into the fear part, if you can.
Because you could be raised a certain way, right? In society, you know, because society has all of these, this is right and this is wrong, right? And that's why I always go back, well, what does that mean to you? Because I can't tell you if something's right or wrong. But you can see something and there's a part of you that can say, hey, I don't think that that's right, but you were raised that way, right? So sometimes you won't stand up and advocate or use your voice because that's your fear. But it's also your reality. So what do when fear confronts reality? And how do you handle it to posture yourself, because it's not about me, posturing yourself in the best place so you're okay. And sometimes that's a big fight. You know, there's that's like it's a battlefield of the mind sometimes, because you're saying, I don't feel comfortable with this particular situation. But if I confront it, I'm going against the grain. I'm going against what's instilled in me. And I kind of say to people, to thy own self be true. Just to thy own self be true. It's not about me. Just be true to you.
Do you find it hard for people to be true to themselves if they don't know themselves?
Oh, yeah. How can you be? Right? Like every single day, I look. There's an exercise I do with women when I do coaching or ministry with them, and I give them a mirror. And I say, just look in the mirror. And everybody thinks that is the easiest thing to do. But to hold a mirror in front of your face for 2 minutes, it cannot be done. Because what do you see when you look at you?
It's so uncomfortable.
It is so uncomfortable,
uncomfortable.
right?
Absolutely.
But I can look in the mirror like I am looking in that window. You look good, girl.
Is it uncomfortable because we often live the life that someone else expects us to,
Yes.
and what we see is the manifestation of that, but it's not really who we are internally.
And that's why
Exactly.
you have to be true to yourself. That's why you have to look at your life and you as an onion, right? And if you I look at me tomorrow, because I'm going to just keep it on me. I take me and I say, okay, you're the onion. There's a lot of layers to me. There's a lot of layers. When you taking the onion, you peeling that onion back, right? You're going to walk away. You're going to wipe your eyes. You're going to come back because you got to go, right? Because you got to get to the bud, right? But the process of getting to the bud is not always easy, right? It is not easy.
That's therapy. That's a brilliant
Right?
analogy.
And you have to go through so many different steps to get to that bud. But when you get to the bud, you're not crying no more, right? Because you've gone through the process.
Right.
And we have to take ourselves and say, I'm an onion trying to get to the bud. And there's layers to that. And you have to handle it. Each layer, you handle it differently than the layer before. And I can comfortably say that because I've gone through the process,
And
right?
the crying and the pain is part
The
of
crying and the
process.
pain and the issues and my mom and my dad, you know, and being the oldest and being light-skinned because everybody else in my family is dark-skinned and you don't belong to them. All of that,
The
all of
milkman's
that.
baby.
right? The milkman, baby.
That was the
Wait a
saying.
minute now.
That was the saying. The milkman's baby.
Other people's insecurities and fears are imposed upon you. So you have to differentiate between what's actually mine that I own, or the things that I've inherited based upon what they've told
Right.
me.
That's confusing.
But when you get to the point, where you can differentiate between the two,
Uh-huh.
baby, you on smooth sailing. Because you can say, I don't own that. That's not me. That's you.
One thing I love to see after a person's confession or expression is a smile. Right? Because I can tell the difference between a fake smile or something that you're trying to hide and cover up, between something that I'm happy I can express that today. So now, it's a reason why she's behind me. Now we're going to be next to each other in a minute. It's the reason why that she's right next to me and I have her in this secluded area, right? It's because
That's a hot seat?
no,
It's a hot seat. I'm on
it's not a hot seat because she has a real touching testimony, and she has a real story that I think many people don't really understand, and it's involving a complete lifestyle change that's for spiritual and health reasons. And so while people will talk about, oh, well, I'm this, I'm that, and so on, so on, so, a lot of times we don't talk about our health changes. Have you stopped eating this particular food? Are you a juicer? Are you vegan? Have you stopped eating this, that? Are you gluten-free? We don't talk about the things that sustain our life. We can talk about the things that we actively may or may not do, but things that we put into our body, right, are very important. I explain this to everybody. It's a reason why, no matter what the temperature is in your shower, when you get in the shower, your shampoo is always cold. Your lotion is always cold. Always. Why do you think they call it cold cream? No matter what the temperature is, it's cold. It's because there's preservatives that are in these particular products that we use, right? Methylparaben, propylparaben specifically, that are like byproducts of formaldehyde. It's a preservative. And people think about what you smoke, what you drink, what you eat, but you never think about what absorbs into your skin. So when you think about women that have, this one has cancer, and all of these people I know have cancer, are you thinking about what they're rubbing into their skin that may have this particular effect on their bodies? Not just what you eat, not what you breathe, not what you drink, what you're actually rubbing in. You're rubbing in chemicals that have an adverse effect. Tea tree oil, lavender oil is no good for young men. It can develop into gynomastica, which is the development of breast in young boys, because it mimics estrogen when it enters the body of a young boy. So it throws off the estrogen testosterone level. And how do I know? Because I was a boy that suffered from that. You feel me? And I had to tell my mother, I can't use your products. I would do my own research in the library. We didn't have Google. In the library. Right? Because what the hell? Something's going on. This ain't right. Ma, I can't use your products because your products are designed for a woman to accentuate estrogen, which is already present. Anytime my skin ain't supposed to be shiny, looking like glistening. I'm a man. I'm a little ashy, but I'm not supposed to look like lustrous like y'all are. That's y'all. And they cater to y'all and they make these products to accentuate your skin. A young man has no business using that. And when I tell women, if you have young sons, please buy them separate products that are designed for men. It's a reason for it. Not because I don't want them to smell fruity. That's not it. It's because the chemical composition is different for them than it is for you. So now,
hold up.
Without further ado,
Can I just say one thing on that?
Of course.
And listen, I've learned throughout the years that people, these big companies, right, these corporations, they intentionally putting these chemicals and doing this stuff. And I've been taught that they doing it on purpose. It's called Global 2000 depopulation of the planet Earth. They say they want to depopulate the planet Earth by doing certain things, killing off certain people, and the ones that they want to kill off is people.
That's a whole other podcast.
I'm not going off.
No,
I'm just saying.
Google Henry Kissinger, 1973. It's going to come up about how he formulated the depopulation through famine and disease. It's going to come up.
I was just talking about
It's going to come up. But without further ado, right?
Oh, God.
Without further ado.
Hold on, we sharing.
No.
Okay.
The mic is all yours. It's a reason why I wanted for you to go now.
Okay.
Because I wanted you to absorb everything. So the opinion and everything that you express incorporates everything that we were talking about. So the floor is yours. I want you to tell everybody your journey, your thoughts, your everything. The floor is yours.
First, I'd like to say that I am beyond blessed to be a part of this outreach program. I have personally gone through my own trauma. I was raped. I broke my back skiing, and I also lost my mother at a very pivotal point in my life. And I'm a firm believer that trauma does affect you, obviously mentally, but chemically with the trauma. And it's all about support. It's all about, we talk about reaching that, how do you know the fear? How do you fight the fear? I was raised like that, all of that. Being true to yourself, reaching that point of knowing this isn't for me anymore, of knowing that I have to do something, and sometimes you may even know, as my sister says, you have to, but you don't know where or how. That's why I am thrilled to be a part of this, because it is every level of trauma, from community to abuse, that we're forming something to make it easy for people not to feel alone, and to reach out for help and know that people have you, and that if you need something, there's a way to get it. And you don't have to give up, and you don't have to be discouraged and throw it all away. So that's first and foremost, that I'm thrilled that this is growing, and it's the perfect time in the world that we need this as well. It's the timing of it all. People want more. People are aching for sustenance, for something that they feel good about. You know, all this instant gratification that you hear about, nothing is worth having if it happens overnight.
Agreed.
And, you know, part of my journey is I've struggled with my weight my whole entire life. And when I was little, I never looked at it like that. I just loved food. That's just the way it was. And I still love food. But along the way, once you get into school and you see different things and you go through different traumas, you're considered a different, you know, you look different. And along the way, I realized my breaking point was when I was 305 pounds. And I couldn't go up the stairs with my laundry basket. And my knees were giving out on me. And I have 2 little boys at home, and I'm going, something's got to change. I need to do something. And the whole part of changing and finding yourself, and I hate using the word change because it's so frightening. Nobody ever wants to change what they're doing because of the unknown. I needed to switch something. I needed to take that and say, okay, I may only know how to do this, but we're going to do it this way. And I started with low carb, high protein. And I made a promise to myself. And through the years of doing this, it's been 9 years since I started, 7 years of maintaining the weight. This is what I discovered along the journey itself, that I built a small routine for myself that started at 5 minutes, which grew to 15, which grew to an hour, which grew to running a half marathon, which grew into, you know, finding the worry that I worry about my kids. Am I doing enough for my kids? And are they going to understand it if I leave the house for an hour to go for my run? And then realizing that my youngest son got it when he made me a laptop out of construction paper that said, baking cookies with Andrea. You know, so you worry so much, but you're finding yourself, and you're projecting yourself for the others around you. So the routine and the rituals, that all came by, as I did more, I found support. And I found support in the strangest places, where in the park and there's somebody else running, and here I am, 250 pounds, never wanting to pick my eyes off the ground. And you see, and then somebody gives you a nod, says, have a great day. And good job, keep it going. That's the support that kept me going.
That's right.
And it's random, and it's all part of finding who you are and being able to take yourself out of the situation, like you said, read the person and give them what you have, so hopefully that it can continue for them. Support. It's all about support. Just finding the random people. My high school friend, a friend from elementary school. She's the one that inspired me to run. And the people that I cross paths with in gym and on the streets doing what I'm doing, the grocery store, looking at the back of a package for a long period of time, reading the ingredients, you inspire people. They ask questions. So it's about finding who you are and riding it and feeling good about it. And it is very true. It's not only what you think of yourself, it's what you put into yourself.
I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
At any particular time, did you find yourself having low self-esteem? And if that was the case, what brought your esteem up?
Of course. Everybody has it. And we still, every day, there's always moments, you know, like she was saying, the layers that you go through. It's an ongoing struggle every day, but it's getting to the point of peeling back and working and understanding that I'm not like that anymore. I still struggle. Ask my sister. There are moments where I'm still a size 28, and I can't see myself as I am now, and it's hard.
Well, is that a dysmorphia? Because
yes,
sometimes
it is.
We see ourselves
yes.
so unlike what we really are.
Well, you can have a dysmorphia like that. That's your way of functioning, Or I think, and this isn't like quoting out of DSM or anything, I'm not even sure if this is it, this is just my idea, that, you know, you're used to being a certain way. You're used to having a certain interaction. You're used to living a certain way. You're used to having a certain weight. You're used to doing a certain routine. Even if you don't anymore, you're still operating on that level. It takes time to ease into, this is a different me.
The physical changes a lot quicker than the mental.
And
Yeah.
not to equate this like to anybody's plight, but if you've ever lived one place and you've moved another place, at one point in time you probably actually moved, but actually took transportation.
You went back home to the other house.
You made the wrong turn
yes,
at some point.
absolutely.
Because you used to making the left on Linden going up there, but you were like, oh shit, that's right, I don't even live there no more.
You're on autopilot.
Exactly.
That's what you're
And
doing.
That's it.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah.
So now, when it comes to a dysmorphia, it's our mind's view that maybe has a satiable aspect to it. Like, it comforts us to be like, well, you know, as long as I'm used to this, like this particular thing, I'm used to that, so I know how to navigate around it, even if it's with abuse.
Yep.
Even if it's
Absolutely.
with things that you may have experienced, even if it's with the streets, with me, well, we know how to operate the streets. Now somebody tell you, you got to make a resume. Man, I'm used to calling my dude and he just fucking me and I got the job. What's with this resume shit?
Right.
Because we're not used to going about it in that particular fashion, and you have to learn the new ways of operating.
And that's where
it-
support comes
it's-
into, and
it's
that's all of
scary.
it.
Listen, the hardest thing for me to do was to fill out an application, and they said, "Have you ever been convicted of a felony?" Because I've always been judged and assessed based upon my felony convictions. So whenever I got to that point, I can answer everything like 1, 2, 3. I get to that point, and I'm like, oh fuck, what do I put?
You're sweating.
Do I lie? They're gonna find out. I'm trying to do the shit the right way, and here they go with this bullshit. They hit me with the bullshit. I'm frustrated, and I just gotta say, you know what? Let me just do it the right way.
That's
this time.
right.
That's right.
But it's hard when you're used to doing it the wrong way, or skating around, or getting a hookup, or getting a plug. It's hard to do it. This show is my therapy. I'm super dedicated. I'm here. How many shows, Slim, have I missed in about 3 years? Maybe 5. In 3 years. Three and a half years. 3.5 years. I might have missed. I might 3.5 shows, right? And that's 52 shows a year. So we talking about 100, almost 160 shows. I've only missed 3.5. Right? I'm obsessed.
Dedication.
This is my therapy.
But that's what it's about. It's dedicating to yourself something that makes you feel stronger and more empowered. And that unfolds the bringing in new people into your world. And, you know, opportunities that arise. This is all working, you know, you find your, what I call it, I always say, I'm working to find my tribe, to find the people that are like-minded and strong and want to improve and better the world by showing themselves. That's how you inspire. That's how you grow. That's how the world is going to change.
When I asked you for a picture to display as a promotional, you sent me the before and after picture. I only presented the after picture, not because I was ashamed of displaying you, or I thought you were, but I wanted to segue into that and not have people focus on that.
Right.
See, because we're talking about true entertainment and the wellness aspect of it. You from the true outreach.
Right, true outreach.
And the wellness of everything. So I don't want people to get distracted, because some people want to be enlightened and other people want to be educated. So I have to understand the target audience. Some people want to come on and they think I'm going to give them the shenanigans and the sex BS and all that. That's not for this. We have another segment for that. We'll show you what that's about later on. But this is about real people talking about real things and engaging in real conversation. This is why you think I ignored you? I was like, no, they're talking about, oh, we going to call you right now. I'm going to bed. I ain't talking to you because you're going to give me 1,000 questions about tomorrow.
We felt a little ignored.
Yeah.
I have to
And
say.
it's cool. You can feel ignored, but do you feel paid attention to now?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's all about the end result, right? Okay, and y'all gonna be talking about me on the way home. But anyway, but my whole point is, what I like to see is, Norda is a very reserved woman. She's a woman that she smiles on the inside, unless you call her out and she'll be blushing. But she smiles on the inside because from her own testimony to me in private, and just from me knowing her for mad long, there's a series of disappointments in terms of where people think their life should go or should have been. And at a certain age, you tend to develop this, and I have it myself, like, well, damn, where am I at now? I should be this way. People we went to school with is retired, getting that pension.
Yeah.
You feel me? But me and you, we getting up early in the morning going to work.
I'm going to work.
But we should have been retired, right? According to what we think, according to what they're doing. However, a lot of our retired friends are miserable, right? Because they thought they had it a certain way and their life was cut out, and they did their 20, 25 years, and they miserable. Their marriages is failing, relationships is failing. They ain't got no friends. Nobody trusts them because they become a very a negative. They have a negative energy based upon all other things, because there's a whole bunch of other shit that we don't see that's not going right in their life, and we only focus upon what we can see. And so when I refer to you and I, when we have our man-to-man talk, it's like, yo, bro, listen, you just came back from 18 years of vacation, and I see a smile on your face every day.
Yeah.
Right? So what the fuck do I have to be depressed about? Right? What do I have to be sad about? Not a goddamn thing. If you're smiling, I should be doing jumping jacks down Guy Brewer.
When I was on my vacation, believe it or not, I was smiling. I had a ball. Most people don't believe that, but the people that are around me, I had a ball. I mean, literally a ball. I had fun.
How did you turn that experience, which some people would be like, damn, into, well, we're going to do what we got to do? How did you turn that into that?
One thing I had to do, I had to deal with reality and say to myself, okay, let me assess this situation. And I said to myself, I never had a job before in my life. So I said, okay, I have to turn this around. So what I did is I said, okay, I went and I got in a trade, right? And I went to 2 different schools, to be an electrician, because I wanted to be able to do something with my hands as a fallback. So I have a friend that was there with me at the time, and he used to say, True, why are you fixing up these people's place? I'd be like, man, I'm trying to get a trade so I could go home to do something with my hands. Do you know, about a year and a half ago, that same guy who used to say that to me, because he used to look at BET a lot, and he said, True, man, I wish I would have did that when I was there.
Wow.
Because he see the difference in the pay and what's going on, what he's getting paid and what I'm getting paid. And he was like, man, I just wish, but he just wasn't just thinking, that way. I just had to make a change. I had to. The only reality is change. Even every cell of the body dies and grows new cells. So you have to change. Gotta change.
And I'm going to say this because I was on somebody else's page on Facebook, and they had said, well, what was some of the traumatic things that happened to you? And I had mentioned to them an attempted kidnapping of myself and subsequent shootout. Statute of limitations is gone. I could talk about this. Subsequent shootout, it was crazy, whatever case may be. And I said, well, they don't understand that lifestyle, that particular fast street money lifestyle, it's never easy money. It's never easy money. Right now, I feel such an ease of walking down the street, not worrying about any type of situations happening my way. Nothing happened. I'm good because I'm not. I'm a law-abiding citizen. Back then, I wasn't. So everything had me paranoid. Everything. We sit down and talk with somebody, jump in the pool. Make sure you ain't got no wire on you. Like, let's go swimming, right? Make sure, it was crazy things because it was like that was the lifestyle that I lived, and it was like I don't do that no more, and it feels so good to not do that.
Amen.
And they don't understand. When I say they, mean the masses that are getting false information about that lifestyle. There's such a freedom that I have. And I'll say this many times, we could talk what the fuck we want to talk here. We could say whatever the fuck I have no sponsorship. I pay for this out of my pocket. I ask for no donations, nothing. I ask nothing from anybody. Come there, speak your piece. I don't want your money. This is my give back. Because I did a lot of shit.
And you
And
give
I
it
wasn't.
back.
I'm not giving back turkeys and all that. I'm not just saying don't need no brown shit. I'm just saying that I'm. This is my give back. You feel me? So when people talk about, oh well, you know, I did this and I did that, and you know, I gave a bus out in the Great Adventures, but you was bleeding the hood. You bleeding the hood.
Bloodsucker of the poor.
A parasite.
That's right.
My give back is to afford people that have a platform that want to speak their piece. Even if I don't agree with your piece, speak your piece. Here it is. It's going to be some times where I'm going to say, listen, I had to do X, Y, Z. I have a Saturday. I need to take off. Hello, Norda. Christine, can you host the show? Can you do the show?
Absolutely.
Bring your sister, right?
Be an honor.
Bring tomorrow, right? Landra, can y'all do it for me? Y'all know the format. Just come here, just say straight no chaser, and y'all run with it and do your thing. And I might tune in.
Definitely.
I might be on vacation, tune in. Let me see what the fuck they talking. And I might tune in. But my thing is, here's the platform. Use it. My grandfather taught me a long time ago. He said, never be a profiteer. And I said, Grandpa, what's a profiteer? He said, the profiteer is someone that only benefits from what they do. Because you're not going to be the only one that suffers from what you do.
That's
because
right.
in your situation, I'm pretty much sure family suffered. Everybody that loved you suffered. And it was unfair if they weren't beneficiaries when you were doing it. Because they suffered, you know what I'm saying, as a consequence to it. So in my mind, I've always been like, yo, you know what? If I'm going to do X, Y, Z, share it. Share the, yo, come here. You want it? Do it. Just
that's
show
how
up
change
on
starts.
time, damn it. Show up on time. That's me and you talk later. I got to talk about
Oh,
that.
right.
Just show up on time, because it's gonna be times where I'm gonna say, yo, Northern, listen, you got a platform. Just bring your people, whoever you want to bring. Bring your people. Have them here on time and rock out. That's it.
We already have that worked out. We're gonna get a room. It's gonna be fine.
Listen, there's been many times where I've told people, and shout out to Shanoa Lawrenson, who was my co-host. She quit me because she's doing another show. No, she has other obligations. I used to tell her, I want you to have your own show. And she would be like, no, I don't want my own show. I want to be with you. I'm like, but you are intelligent enough to have your own show. Do your own thing. I don't want people to be up under me. My ego is not that huge. I want you to be successful in your own right. They may have known you. I was like, I met dude through Todd. But eventually, True is not Todd's man. He's True. You feel me? Norda's not, that's Todd's homegirl. No, she's Norda. I don't want that. The true testimony of me is to be able to be like, introduce, segue, and then y'all do your thing. Period, point blank. So back to you. In your weight loss progression, in your spiritual progression in terms of how you feel, you look in the mirror sometimes and you still see that size 22?
8.
Ooh, 28. Wow, wow. Thumbs up.
Thank you.
Has it ever affected you in a sense where I've seen, like back in the days, we saw the guys that weren't that cute, and then when they grew up and they got little muscles and everything, now they was the cocky, arrogant guy because the girls didn't like them before, and now all of a sudden you the Old Spice guy, and now here
No.
they come. So now
I think it brought me to be more humble, where it is, again, being looked at as different as...
when a guy approaches you and
Yeah.
he's like, hello, how are you? So and so, do you really believe that he's looking at the Andrea of today? Because you see yourself sometimes as the Andrea before.
When I say see myself, yes, you have those random lapses. That I'm not by any shape dysmorphia, but yes, you sometimes fall into the comfortable, what you know.
Gotcha.
And this is years of what I knew. So 9 years out of what, 30, that would be 36 of doing it the other way, whatever it might be. I don't know if my math is right. That would be your key.
Let me subtract. Hold on.
But anyway, what was she, 85? She looks great. But yes, so when they come approach me, yes, I know they're seeing me
36.
for
You hit that.
I hit it right on
Right.
the nose. Look at me.
They see the superficial.
They're seeing this. They don't know, and this is one of the things that I love to talk about and teach the clients that I have, and just talk to anybody about this, is that nobody knows what you've been through. You can look one way on the outside, but you have no idea what goes on the inside, what you're struggling with, what the appearance is. That's why, you talk about judgment. I want to see what you do first. I will never judge anybody by your appearance. I want to see who you are first, and then maybe at that point I'll make a decision not to judge, but to walk away. There's a difference. I don't need to spit out ill will to anybody that doesn't give me what I need. I walk away. That's the difference. But yes, I've learned to embrace myself. Where just last year I was on vacation and I was in a hot mess. My sister will vouch for me. All this weight I lost, I can't wear the bathing suit I want. And I can't do this, and you lose 175 pounds because of my own subconscious, where I want to wear something like this, and have extra skin here, things jiggle when you move, whatever it is, craping on the legs. Listen, this is the one thing that I came to terms with after going to buy board shorts, walking around the water park and being chafed where I needed to go get like diaper rash cream. Wow. I was like, no more. And as I'm walking around doing this, I'm going, there are people, again, what you think of, walking around carefree.
Oblivious.
And I'm like, it was like an aha moment where I was like, if somebody's going to judge me because of my tiger marks on my skin, let them judge me. But I'm going to enjoy myself and my children. Mm-hmm. And that was a pivotal point in my life. And you're always growing. You're always learning more about yourself through it all. And people are going to judge you regardless. People are going to approach you by the way they, how you look, how you don't look. Mm-hmm. But again, it's how you hold true to yourself, how you engage.
Wow. I just want to say, maybe I could speak into the mic. Yeah. I just want to say this, this ensemble that you have, bruh, you that dude. You that dude. And the only reason I hate on you is because we the same age and you got your waves on top and I don't.
Are they waves?
Yeah. No. That's the only reason I hate on dudes. When I be saying dudes that's my age and I'm like, yo, he got a full, and I got the sunroof on top. I can't stand it. Other than that, we cool. But I have to applaud you because you've maintained your composure and you've maintained your dream and determination based upon what you've established a few years back. And when you came home, you put everything into place. And thankfully, you have people that, I'm not going to say believed in you, because I used to see the pictures 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. Me and the homie True, and I know, dude. Like, yeah, that's, oh, wow, he coming back in a minute. And they've always been there. And when you touch down, the same energy that they had 7 years ago, they have it now. And the most important thing is you're not disappointing them. Because, see, we can have great expectations for you because of what you've promised us, right? And when you set foot, you could do something completely different. But you stayed on the same path. So the joy and the glee that I see in certain Jamaican women's eyes, that's the camera shot, right? Certain Jamaican women's eyes, right? It's like, this is her passion. And that woman, when I say loves you, for y'all perverted people, I told you the perverted stuff is going to come later on. We talking about a woman that genuinely loves this man as a brother, from a sister, as a woman to a man. And we talking about other women that love this sister as woman to woman. Y'all already sisters, so y'all don't count. I can't. Y'all love each other regardless. So, but okay, as Andrea loves, what's her name again?
My sister.
Yeah,
Christina, come on.
I'm just joking with you, women. As women that love each other, and as Tamar and as Landra, as people that have known each other for 1,000 years, it's always a good thing, because I've seen generations and corporations and these so-called movements implode. You get into the board meeting, and I don't agree with that, or why he gets so much attention, or why he do this, or why, ignoring the fact that it's a collective. See, my thing is, I don't care who drives. I'll sit in the third seat, because we all get into the listen. We going on the bus stop, right? We going to the Maryland Crab Fest, right? Right. But okay, well, True knows the way. Drive. Damn, his license suspended. You know the way, but you don't like to go over bridges, right?
My license is
right. But my point, okay, so you know the way, right? Or you don't know the way, but you're good at navigation. So let drive.
No.
Because the bottom line is, when y'all say when I wake up and you say we here, we all getting off at the same destination. Right. And I just wish people would understand that and say, listen, as long as we have the same goals, right? Even if we have different tactics, whatever, but we can come to a common ground where we can all get there the same way.
That's right.
That's all. We got a minute left. I need you to take us out on that particular prayer.
Okay. You know, it's customary that we always end or begin in prayer. So we're going to do that. In the name of God, the beneficent, the merciful, surely I turn myself, being upright, to him who originated the heavens and the earth, and I'm not of the polytheists. Surely my prayers, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for God, the Lord of the worlds. No associates has he. This I am commanded, I'm of those who submit. O God, you are my king, there is no God but thee. You are my Lord, and I am thy servant. I have been greatly unjust to myself, and I confess my faults. So grant me protection against all my faults, for none grants protection against faults but thee. And guide me to the best of morals, for none could guide to the best of morals but thee. And turn away from me the evil and decent morals, for none could turn away from the evil and decent morals but thee. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And on that note, straight no chaser, Tar Fountaine. I love my true family, and we out.
Peace.